Ever jumped into what you thought would be a nice, relaxing hot shower, only for it to turn kind of lukewarm halfway through,
Ugh, the worst.
right? Or maybe you've seen your energy bill climbing and you're not quite sure why. Well, today we're diving deep into something that could be behind it all. It's surprisingly common, but often overlooked. We're talking about keeping your Navien Tankless water heater running smoothly, specifically descaling.
That's right. It's a crucial bit of maintenance.
So many of us go for these tankless heaters, right? For that endless hot water, the efficiency.
Exactly. The on-demand aspect is huge.
But, like any clever piece of tech, they need a little TLC to keep performing at their best. Our main source for this deep dive is Navien's own tankless heater descaling and maintenance guide, the one from December 2023. Pretty current stuff.
Yeah, it's a good resource.
So our mission today is really to pull out the key info for you. Why is descaling so important? How often should you even think about it? And, the big question, can you do it yourself or do you need to call someone in?
Plus, what happens if you just don't bother?
Exactly. It's basically your shortcut to understanding how to keep that hot water flowing consistently and efficiently without driving yourself crazy. Okay, so let's get into it. This term scaling.
Mm.
What exactly is it? Why is it such a headache for these tankless systems? I keep thinking about like the white crusty stuff you see inside an old kettle,
Yeah,
lime scale. Is it basically that?
it's precisely that kind of thing, yes.
Yeah.
But the impact on a complex machine like a water heater is much bigger. We're talking about mineral buildup. Your tap water, especially if you're in what's called a hard water area.
Which is pretty common, right?
Oh, yeah, very common.
Yeah.
That water has dissolved minerals in it, calcium, magnesium, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And when the water gets heated inside the unit, these minerals, well, they become less soluble. They basically precipitate out and stick to the inside surfaces, especially onto the heat exchanger.
Ah, the core part that actually heats the water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this scale forms a kind of crust, a barrier. Think of it like an insulator. Now, the heat exchanger has to fight through this growing layer of scale to heat your water. And that causes a whole bunch of problems. First off, reduced efficiency. The unit just has to work way harder.
Using more gas or electricity.
Right. Consuming more energy. We're talking potentially 10–15% higher energy bills annually, even with just a thin layer.
Wow, okay. That's significant.
Then you get decreased flow. The scale literally narrows the pipes inside.
So less hot water actually comes out of the tap.
Yep. Lower pressure, maybe lukewarm water instead of hot. Super frustrating.
You can imagine.
And all this adds up to just lowered overall performance. Inconsistent temperatures. Maybe it takes longer to get hot water. And the really bad news, in severe cases, it can cause actual physical damage.
Damage? Like what?
It can damage the heat exchanger itself,
Right.
cracking, corrosion, leading to really expensive repairs. Or honestly, the whole unit might just fail years before it should.
Yikes. So it's not just about comfort or even the energy bill, it's about protecting the appliance itself.
Absolutely. It's fascinating, isn't it? How these tiny mineral deposits can snowball into such major issues.
It really is. Okay, so given how serious this is, how often should someone with a Navien unit actually be doing this descaling? Is it like an annual thing?
That's the million-dollar question. And honestly, there's no single answer fits everyone. It really depends.
Depends on what?
Well, the biggest factor is your water quality, specifically the mineral content or hardness.
Right, hard water means more minerals, so more scaling.
Exactly. If you live somewhere with really hard water, you'll probably need to descale more often than someone with soft water. Another thing is the temperature you set your water heater to.
Higher temps are worse.
They can be, yeah. Higher temperatures can actually make those minerals precipitate out faster, speed up the scaling process.
Huh, interesting.
And then just how much hot water your household uses. More usage means more water and therefore more minerals passing through the system.
Makes sense. So what's the general guideline then, if you had to give one?
Navien generally recommends descaling at least once a year. That's the baseline. But really, you need to pay attention to your own situation. Use those factors, water hardness, temperature setting, usage to gauge it.
And look for signs, I guess, like the water not getting hot enough.
Definitely. Lukewarm water, reduced flow at the taps, maybe even error codes popping up on the unit itself. Those are all warning signs you're probably overdue.
And if you ignore those signs, you just let it go. What are the grim realities, as the guide puts it?
Well, it's not pretty. Over time, that scale buildup gets thick. It can seriously damage the heat exchanger, like we talked about. It can interfere with the normal heating cycle, possibly causing overheating situations or even cracks in the components.
Which sounds expensive.
Very. And ultimately, it just leads to the premature failure of the whole tankless unit. It's probably one of the main reasons these units die before their time.
Okay, message received. Regular maintenance is key. So that brings us to the how. For listeners who like to tackle home projects, the DIY types, is descaling something you can realistically do yourself? Or is it best left to the pros?
It's definitely within the realm of possibility for a DIYer, especially if you're comfortable with some basic plumbing tasks.
Okay, what would you need?
You need a few things. First, an approved descaling solution specifically for tankless water heaters. Some people use household white vinegar. That can work too.
Right?
Then you need a standard washing machine hose, the kind with connections on both ends.
Got it.
You also need a small submersible pump, sometimes called a utility pump or pond pump.
Okay.
And finally, just a regular 5-gallon bucket.
Right, sounds manageable in terms of equipment. What about the actual process?
It's fairly straightforward, but you have to be careful and follow the steps. Safety first, always. Step 1, absolutely critical. Shut off the power supply to the water heater. Circuit breaker off.
Okay, power off.
Step 2, turn off the water supply. Close the valves on both the cold inlet and the hot outlet pipes connected to the unit.
Water off. Got it.
Step 3, set up your drainage and circulation. You connect those washing machine hoses to the service ports on the heater. Usually they're clearly marked. The other ends of the hoses go into your 5-gallon bucket.
So you're creating a loop.
Exactly, a closed loop for the cleaning solution. Step 4 is mixing the solution. Follow the instructions on the descaler bottle, or if you're using vinegar, dilute it properly, usually with water. Pour that into the bucket.
Okay.
Step 5, put your submersible pump into the bucket, submerged in the solution. Connect the pump's outlet to one of the hoses going into the heater. Plug in the pump and let it run. It circulates the solution through the heater, dissolving the scale. You'll usually let this run for, say, 30 to 60 minutes, depending on the instructions.
All right, letting it work its magic.
Then, step 6, and this is really important, flushing. After you disconnect the pump and drain the solution, you need to flush the unit thoroughly with fresh water. Reconnect the cold water supply, run water through the unit and out the other service hose into the bucket for at least 10 minutes. This gets rid of any leftover cleaning solution.
Don't want any vinegar taste in your shower.
Definitely not. And again, always follow the specific instructions for your Navien model and be careful with any chemicals. Safety goggles, gloves, probably a good idea.
That sounds like a project, but doable for someone careful. So let's weigh it up. The pros and cons of going DIY.
Well, the big pro is obviously cost savings. You're not paying for a technician's time.
And convenience, maybe? Doing it whenever you have time?
True, doing it on your own schedule is a plus.
But the cons, you mentioned needing some basic plumbing know-how and having the pump and hoses.
Right. You need the right gear and a bit of confidence working with water lines.
And did you say something earlier about the warranty? That's the bit that would worry me.
That's a major consideration, yes. If you don't do the procedure correctly, or if something goes wrong during the process, you could potentially void your manufacturer's warranty.
Oof. That's a big risk on an expensive appliance.
It is.
Ooh.
Which leads us to the alternative. Professional descaling services.
Calling in the cavalry.
Pretty much. Professionals have all the specialized tools. They've done it countless times. They know exactly what to do for your specific model. They do it efficiently, safely, and crucially, they ensure it's done in a way that complies with warranty requirements.
Where would someone find a qualified technician?
Navien's official website is the best place to start. They usually have a tool to find certified service providers in your local area.
Good tip. Okay, so we've covered dealing with scale after it forms, either DIY or pro, but what about preventing it in the first place? Can you get ahead of the game?
Absolutely. And this is where things get really interesting, technologically speaking. Navien actually offers something called the peak flow system.
Peak flow, what's that?
It's basically a scale prevention system. It's a water treatment device you install on the water line before the tankless heater.
And it stops the scale from forming. How?
What's cool is that it's chemical-free. It uses a special technology, often template-assisted crystallization, or TAC, that essentially changes the physical structure of the hardness minerals in the water. It turns them into tiny, harmless crystals that don't stick to surfaces. They just flow right through the heater with the water.
So the minerals are still there, but they can't build up.
Exactly. They can't form that hard scale on the heat exchanger or pipes.
That sounds pretty clever.
It is. By installing peak flow, you're being proactive. You're aiming to keep the unit operating at peak efficiency right from the start, and you're helping to extend its lifespan significantly by preventing scale damage before it even begins.
So it's like an insurance policy against scaling problems.
That's a good way to think about it, yeah. Especially valuable in hard water areas.
Okay, this has been incredibly insightful. Let's try and sum up the key takeaway from our deep dive today. It seems crystal clear that descaling your Navien tankless water heater isn't just, a nice to-do thing. It's really fundamental.
Absolutely crucial. It directly impacts how well it works, how much energy it uses, and honestly, how long it's going to last you.
And we've walked through the options you have. There's the hands-on DIY route, if you're up for it, and mindful of the risks.
Right, weighing the cost savings against potential warranty issues.
Then there's the convenience and peace of mind of calling in a professional service.
Letting the experts handle it.
And finally, that really interesting proactive approach, installing something like the peak flow system to prevent scale buildup from the get-go.
Thinking long-term about the health of your unit.
So lots for you, the listener, to think about depending on your situation.
Definitely. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Instead of just waiting until you notice that lukewarm shower or see an error code pop up, what's one small proactive step you could take today? Could you maybe look up your local water hardness report online? It's often public info.
Good idea.
Or maybe schedule a preventative maintenance checkup with a certified tech, just to see how things look inside your unit.
Or even just start researching that peak flow system if you're in a hard water area.
Exactly. Taking that one small step now could be the key to ensuring your Navien tankless heater keeps delivering that endless, efficient hot water you rely on, trouble-free, for many years to come.